morning, boys and girls. This is Miss Lisa, your art teacher, and welcome back to my table of art. How is everyone doing on this beautiful morning? It's a little nippy, so make sure you bring your sweaters with you to stay warm. You know, it's that time of year. I love this time of year. Great for apple picking, but even better for pumpkin picking and Halloween. Yeah! Spooky, spooky Halloween. And not so spooky Halloween. So guess what? We're going to do a nice little art project with a Halloween theme in mind. We are going to make agamographs. What? Agamographs. Agamographs are these series of images that change at different angles. That sounds very interesting. Look at that. This is a gamogram. Doesn't look like much, does it? But watch the magic. When I move it this way, it's a beautiful image of a pumpkin. But then again, if I move it this way, oh my God, it's a spooky haunted house. How did you do that? Well, I can't take credit for that. Yaakov Agam can take credit for that. He's an Israeli sculptor and kinetic artist. And he deals with the optical and kinetic art. Optical meaning the eyes. Trickery of the eyes, I say. Trickery. Look at that spooky trickery. Well, that's what we're going to make today together. And how are we going to do that? By splicing two images onto the one fanned sheet of paper. So what's the first thing we're going to do? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take these two images that I provided for you. By the way, I drew them. Do you like them? I hope so. So we got our spooky haunted house, and we've got our kooky looking pumpkin. Now, you're not just going to go crazy and color it any way you want. There's going to be an art lesson in here, okay? One or the other. You may choose. One must be all cool colors, and one must be all warm colors. Oh, Miss Lisa, what does that mean? Well, what does that mean? That means warm colors. The sun is shining on me. I feel the heat. What colors might we find in the fire or on heat? What colors do you think? Red, yellow, and orange. Those are your warm colors. So one of your images going to be all different values of warm colors. Only warm colors. You can have light orange, dark orange, medium orange. You can have light yellow, dark yellow, medium yellow. And you could have a bright dark red or a light red or a medium red. But no cool colors. We don't want any cool colors in our warm picture. Alright, and you can choose which one you want to have warm. That's up to you. Now the other picture is going to be all cool. I'm so cool, man. I'm so cool. It's going to be your cool colors. What are my cool colors? Sometimes when I go out in the snow and the sun is reflecting on that white snow, it kind of has a blue appearance to it. So you think that's a cool color? Yeah, blue is cool. Blue, green, and purple. All cool colors. So remember, one is going to be cool and the other is going to be warm. Because we want you to see the contrast between the cool colors, see all my cool colors, with all those warm colors. See how well that works together? They're contrasting against each other. Pretty cool. Oh no, that's the cool side. All right, so how about we get started? I put my Agamograph over here, and we get started with our coloring. Now, what do we use when we color? That's entirely up to you. You can color it with crayons. You could color it with markers. You could even paint it. Whatever you want. That's up to you. I like markers, so I'm going to pull out my markers over here. And I'm going to color with my markers. Would you like to watch me? Here I go. Hang on. All right, I think I'm going to start with my pumpkin. And I think I'm going to make him all my warm colors because he just looks like a warm pumpkin. So I'm going to start coloring my warm pumpkin here because orange is a warm color, right? So take your time. This is the fun part, coloring in. I love to color. So long as my markers are working well, I'm happy. Sometimes they get dried out right in the middle of coloring, and that makes me angry because I need my tools to work. So this one's kind of drying out. Let's see what else I got in here. Do I have another orange? I do have another orange. And here oh, see, now that's how it's supposed to glide on. Nice like that. Shouldn't be a struggle. Should be fun. Now, I don't have to paint my whole pumpkin orange. I can mix all my warm colors. The more mixing, the more interesting. Right? We don't want the same of everything. So I've got this beautiful orange here. So maybe I'll make this. See, look, these are two different markers, so it showed two different kinds of oranges. And look how beautiful that came out. Is this an orange color? Let's see. Maybe I'll try this color. How's that look? Oh, that's more like a brown. So I'm just going to start the top with this color. And then I'm going to gradually turn it back to orange. What do you think of that? That's a nice idea too, right? I'm going to go back to this really nice orange, and I'll finish blending right in here. I'll put it right over it. You could do that too. Don't worry. Blend, mix, have fun. That's what art's all about, being creative and having fun. And making sure your utensils work. Your tools must always be fresh and working. Not like that first one I used that's dried out and ready for the garbage pail. Alright, so you guys get started with yours, and I'll be back in a moment, okay? Okay, I finished my pumpkin. I chose to do it in warm colors. Doesn't mean that I didn't have to have a purple pumpkin with a blue background. I didn't want to go with the cool colors for the pumpkin. I wanted to go with my warm colors. So now it's time for me to color my other image. So again, if I used warm colors here, what colors am I going to use on this one? Only the cool colors. So how about we get started with the cool colors? Alright, and remember what our cool colors were? I think I'll put all these beautiful warm colors away. And I'll pull out all my beautiful cool colors. I've got different shades of purple here. And let's see, I've got all different blues. This is good. This is all good. Here's the light blue and a dark blue. Here's an even darker blue. Oh, and I've got that lime green and that regular old green. Oh, I've got lots of different colors here. This is going to be interesting. All right, so I'm going to start with my purple, and I think I'm going to do the house purple again. Let me put this red marker away because that's a warm color. And me, I'm just working with the cool guys. I'm working with the cool guys, and you know which ones they are. Mr. Purple, Mr. Blue, and Mr. Green, and all the shades in between. Alrighty, so I guess I'll meet you back here when you're done and I'm done, okay? See you in a little bit. Get working. Color on your purples. How's it going, guys? You coloring? Look at this great lime green. Isn't that beautiful? I love this lime green. Okay, keep working. I'll see you in a little bit. I'm almost done with mine. How you guys making out? I just got to color in my moon. I'm going to use this great lime green to make it pop. And my bats. I want the lime green so they show up in the sky. In the night sky. Can you see how nice that's coming out? All cool colors. And voila, Miss Lisa is done. Okay, how'd you do? Did you make one cool and one warm? All right, so now this is the most important part. We have to measure. So first, I'm going to put away all my coloring utensils, whether that you use crayons or markers or paint. It's time to clean that up. Put it away, and let's get ready to measure. So grab your rulers, get a nice sharpened pencil, because we want to mark our papers and we want to make sure we have a point on our pencil. Okay? And I'm going to do the same. I've got my cool and my warm papers ready to go. I've got my pencil. I'm going to make it a little bit sharper. How's that for a sharpened pencil? And now, you should have 2 colored sheets of paper that you've just completed, which are pretty thin and lightweight. But you also have 2 harder pieces of paper, a heavier stock, card stock they call it. It's a little firmer. This is what's going to keep the shape of our accordion when we glue our image onto here. But it's not that easy. We're not just going to glue away. So let me bring down the camera so you can watch what I'm doing. You ready? Okay. Time to measure. Okay, guys. First thing you need to do, let's do one at a time. Here's my image. I'm just going to flip it upside down. Okay? I'm going to grab my ruler and I'm going to bring it to the top of my paper, but I want to be able to leave a little edge so that I could see what I'm doing. I'm going to line the edge of my ruler with the edge of the paper. Now, for every inch, I'm going to put a little tiny mark with my pencil. See that? But make sure it's right where the number 1 line is. The next one is on the number 2 line. The number 3 line. The number 4 line. And all the way to the end of your paper on every inch. Every inch. Now an inch, now here's 11, and that's how wide my paper is. So there's no mark needed because the edge of the paper is the marker. A ruler has 12 inches. Mine is longer because it's an artist ruler. But every number on this ruler measures an inch apart, and that's where I'm marking my paper. So now, you see the top of my paper? I have little dots every inch. That's 1 inch. That's an inch. Every inch in between. Okay? So we just finished leaving our mark on the top of the paper. Now, bring the ruler to the bottom of the paper and line it up with the edge of the paper like we did on the top, and do the same thing. For every inch, make a mark. Every inch, make a mark. And again, 11 inches is the edge of the paper. So here's my marks. Here's my marks on the bottom of the paper and the top of the paper. Now I'm going to turn it so it's long. This is the vertical position, okay? And I'm going to take my ruler starting from 1 dot on one side, and I'm going to line it up with the first dot on the other side. We're going to connect the dots and make a line. This was my first set of dots. I connected the first 2 dots on both ends of the paper, and I made a line going right across. And I'm going to continue that now with the second dot, which is right here and right here. I'm going to connect it with the ruler and make a line. And I'm going to do that all the way to the bottom of the paper. You ready? We can do this together. And take your time because this is a very important part of the project. Very important part of the project. We want everything to be sized correctly. Don't rush this. Take your time. You took all that care in coloring it. You want to make sure that we measure it properly and that we cut it properly. So I'm going to do the first one with you, nice and slow, lining the ruler up from dot to dot and straight across. Okay? Take your time, don't rush. I'm almost to the bottom. How about you? I'm on my last one. Okay, so here's my picture, right? My picture is landscape, side to side. It's a horizontal image. I turn it upside down, and my lines are vertical from top to bottom. Top to bottom. Not horizontal like my image, vertical. Image, vertical lines. Okay? Let's bring you back up. All right, so do you understand how we did that? We have our horizontal image. The paper goes side to side. We turn it over, and our lines go top to bottom, straight across. Vertical lines, 1 inch apart. We used our ruler to mark the top, and then we brought it down and we marked the bottom, 1 inch apart. And we're going to do that again with the other image. And we're going to continue doing that with both of the cardstocks. Everything needs to be measured 1 inch apart. So come on down and let's get started. See you in a little while. 1 inch apart. Line my ruler up with the top of the paper and make sure my ruler is flushed with the side of the paper. And mark my inches 1 inch apart. Okay? So you do the same. Now I'm on the bottom of my paper, marking 1 inch apart, and then I'm going to connect the top dot with the bottom dots. And I'll turn my paper so I can line my ruler up with my first top dot and my second top dot. Here we go, lining it up and creating the line. And I'm going to do that all the way down. All the way down. Vertical lines up and down. My image is horizontal, side to side, also known as landscape view. Now I'm going to grab my cardstock, landscape view, and what are we going to do? We're going to measure the longest side, every inch. We're going to mark every inch along the longest side of the paper. not the shortest side, the longest side we're making marks. This is the cardstock. We have 2 sheets of cardstock that we have to do this with. Then I slide the ruler down to the bottom of the paper, lining it up with the edge and the bottom. Measure 1 inch across, 1 inch right across the longest side of the paper. Measuring 1 inch every inch along the longest side of the paper. And we're going to turn it like a portrait way, and we're going to connect our dots and create a line, one across, right across. We're going to continue this all the way to the bottom of the paper. This is time consuming. If we were in school, we would be doing this in 2 different art periods. But since you're watching a video, you can always pause it and continue the next day or whenever you'd like. This video should always be available to you. Don't have to do this in one art period because this is a lot. But I do want it ready for you to hang up for Halloween, so don't take too long. But this is a really cool thing to put out for Halloween. And you can even draw your own images. You know, Miss Lisa provided you with images today, but okay. Vertical lines across the longest side of the paper. Vertical lines. Now I have to do my other piece of cardstock. Lining my ruler up and measuring 1 inch across. Right? You could draw spooky images of a monster and another image of sweet, happy kids going trick-or-treating. How's that sound? That'll be spooky. Bring my ruler down, line it up with the bottom edge. It'll be a spooky, sweet picture. Bittersweet. Okay? And I'll stay here and do this with you. Alright, now let's put our paper in portrait mode, which is lengthwise, longer from the top to the bottom. Connect our dots and make our lines right across all the way to the bottom. And you know what? Here we go. Looks good. Looking good, looking good. I really wish I was there with you working, but this is good for now. At least I'm coming to you. Those of you that are home, you could do this whenever you want because you're at home. But now, those of you that are in class, this is going to run much longer than the class period. So I'm telling you, you're going to have to do this in 2 art periods. Maybe even 3. But again, don't take too long. We want it ready for Halloween. Alrighty. Okay, so now we have 2 cardstocks lined, and we have our 2 images with lines on the back. Now, let's start with our first image. On the top, starting at the farthest. Okay, now this is the most important part. We're going to flip the image upside down in this direction, not side to side. We're flipping the image upside down and we're going to label it A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Straight across the alphabet, starting with A. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Again, we're flipping it top to bottom, not side to side. Top to bottom. Okay? This is very important, or else we're going to have the pumpkin going backwards. And we're going to do the same with our cool image. We're going to label that 1 to 11, but we're going to flip it in this direction. Okay? Here's the tricky part. We have 2 pieces of cardstock. All right? We need to tape these 2 together to make one really long piece of paper. So you might need help doing this. Make sure they're right together. My suggestion is take a little piece of tape at a time till we have it permanently together. Make sure we have it right there. Okay. Now I'll get one nice long piece of tape and tape that. You can use any kind of tape. I'm using Scotch tape. You could use masking tape. It doesn't matter. All right. So now I have one long piece of cardstock. Now remember how I did the alphabet and the number? Well, if I start with the alphabet, every other space will have a letter. So ready? Watch what I'm doing. I'm going to start at the very left end, and I'm going to start with A. I'm going to skip the next one and make B. Skip C. Skip D. Skip E. Skip one. F. Skip one. G. Now don't get confused where we taped it, because those are 2 separate sections. Even though we didn't draw a line there, I'm drawing one now so you see. Those are 2 separate sections. So it will be F, skip, G, skip, H, skip, I, skip, J, skip one, K, skip one, no more. So right across the top, we have the alphabet. Every other section is a letter. So what do you think we put in the sections that are empty? We start right next to the letter A. We go to the first open section and we write the number 1. And we continue that to all the sections that are empty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So if this were a pattern of numbers and letters, it would be A, B, 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 A, B. That is a pattern. Numbers and letters creating a pattern. We have the letters across every other space, and we have numbers across every other space. See how Miss Lisa did that? Okay. Now, the hard part is we need to fan this hard, stiff cardstock paper. So what we need to do is what's called scoring. Scoring makes a line on top of the line that will make it easier to fold. And it will fold right on the line that we score. So most of you don't have the tool that you need to do this. So what I say is use a pen. A pen would work perfect. Now we're going to go back to our lines, and I hate to tell you this, but we're starting all over with the lines. Every line that we drew with a pencil, we are going to line up our ruler, and we are going to score it. We are going to just trace right over that line with our pen. See how Miss Lisa's doing it a couple of times? That is called scoring. Because watch what happens when I want to fold it. Oh, look at that. it's folding right where I scored it. It makes it so much easier to do that. All right, so we're going to have to continue this all the way down our cardstock, unless you have a scorer, and that's perfect. Do you know what they use scorers for, the tool? When you get a greeting card, like a birthday card or a Christmas card or a Hanukkah card or whatever kind of card you get, somebody had to fold that card in half, and it's always such a nice crisp fold. Well, they use a special tool to score the paper so it will fold beautifully like that your cards do. So keep going all the way to the end. Press down on the pen. Do it a couple of times because we want this to be the easiest part instead of the hardest part. Again, this takes time. But what else we got? We got nothing else but time. Right? So let's just enjoy the moment. Talk about this beautiful weather. Talk about what you're going to wear for Halloween if you're going trick-or-treating, or if you're not going trick-or-treating. Will you be dressing up for Halloween? I like to dress up scary. One year I was Frankenstein. One year I was a zombie. I like those kind of costumes. How about you? You guys probably like ballerinas or mermaids or the Hulk or Superman. I like spooky costumes. See, I'm continuing all the way down, pressing on my pen, pressing down, using some pressure as I go from line to line. All right, take your time, be careful. This is a very important part. Actually, all the parts are important. All righty, making our line all the way down. Okay, continuing. Take your time, don't worry. This is going to be so beautiful when it's done. Good things come to those that wait. And patience. Have patience. Here we go. Almost done. Just hang in there. Almost done. So next, after this, when we're done making all these lines and scoring the paper, we're going to fold it like an accordion. You know how an accordion goes up and down, folding in and out, zigzagging? Looks like a zigzag line if you look at it from the side. An accordion, or if you've ever made a fan on a hot summer day out of paper, you went back and forth with your fold to create the fan. Well, we're going to do the same thing here when we're done scoring the paper. Okay? And I'm telling you, you're going to see how easy it is to fold this hard, thick, stiff cardstock. Okay? Okay, I have no more lines. So now it's time to create the accordion shape. Ready? All right, I already started at the end, so I'm going to start with number 11. And I fold in that nice, okay? So this one went that way, so now I fold the opposite direction. Look how easy that was, because I scored the paper. And each time we fold and make a new accordion, we press down. See that? Same thing. It's going to be easy all the way down. If you find it difficult, go back and score some more. Score the paper some more. But look how easy it is now that we scored the paper. This wouldn't have been this easy if we didn't do this to the paper. It's almost like pre-folding it or pre-cutting it or preparing it for this part. See how I press down each time I create my accordion shape? Because I want these to be nice and creased like a greeting card. Pretend you work in the greeting card company and you have to make really good folds, nice and crisp folds, okay? Press down, press down. Okay. Now the reason we put the letters and the alphabet on our cardstock is so we keep our image in order. Because we're going to have to cut them up, believe it or not. All that beautiful time you took to color in those images, all your great warm colors and all your great cool colors, we're just going to cut that up. Yes, indeedy. We're going to take our scissor and we're going to cut our images. But we're going to do it a special way, along our lines. Whew, I'm exhausted. How about you guys? Ugh. One more and I'm done. Yay! Alrighty. Press. Alright, how's that for an accordion? Oh, solo mio. I do believe I used to play an accordion. Okay, so let's bring you up here so I could say hello. Oh, I'm back. That was my helping hand. He got stuck in the mirror or in the camera. Okay, so now we made all our folds. Whew, I'm exhausted. We have all our numbers and all our letters on each fold of the accordion. That's very important. Because now, if you notice, we have all our letters on the back here. So when we cut along these lines, which we are going to take our time, so we make nice straight lines, we'll know whether I mix these pieces up or not. My A is going to go to my A. My B is going to go to my B, and so on. So don't worry if you mix up your sheets, it's not going to matter. So now it's time we cut these. So let's get our scissors out. I gotta find, oh, here's my scissors, takes me a while. And cut along the lines. Take your time. We don't want to make, all right, look at how nice, look how nice that's going. There we go, and you do the same. You're going to have to do it with both your sheets, your warm and your cool. Both warm and cool. Cut away. Here we go. Cutting along the line. It's nice that if you keep your letters in order, but it really isn't necessary because we're just going to match them up and glue them to the section that it corresponds with. The same. A will be with A, and so on. So I have all my strips, and I'm going to start cutting my cool colors, which are all numbered 1 to 11. So if you look at my accordion, there's my numbers. This is already an Agamograph, because look, here's my numbers. Oh, now they're letters. Numbers, letters, numbers, letters. And that's going to be my opposite images. So let me put the accordion right up here, and I'm going to start cutting my number sheets. Right along the lines, keep the lines nice and straight, and I'm telling you, you're going to love this when it's done. And you can do this with anything. You could do this with a Thanksgiving scene. You could do, we're doing Halloween. You could do this with Christmas. You could have Christmas presents on one image and a Christmas tree in the other. You could do emojis, happy face, sad face. This is really a fun, cool project. It takes time, but it's worth the wait. I love this one. And I know that you are all really good at making lines and coloring. Because I've seen your lines and I've seen your coloring, and you guys are terrific. The best. You're the best. I'm almost done. How about you? Again, no rush. Put me on pause. Go cut. Come back when you're ready. That's the beauty of a video. And you can put me on mute if you don't want to listen to me. Okay. Now I have all my cool colors cut. See? Now they're all mixed up, but it doesn't matter because I know which number goes with which number. 6 will go with 6. 1 will go with 1. And so on. And now it's time to glue. So I recommend a glue stick because it's a lot easier, less mess. If you don't have a glue stick, don't use a glue stick, use liquid glue. So I'm going to bring this camera down so you can see. I'm going to start with my letter A and I'm going to glue it down. Ready? Alright, so here's my letter A on the accordion, and here's my letter A from my warm sheet. And I'm going to glue it right on this panel of the accordion. So, open up my glue. You want to make sure you get the top and bottom, most important, because that's what sticks on the best. See all my glue on here? Too much glue. Okay. A. I'm lining it up with the top of the accordion and the bottom, because these are the same size sheets. See, it's a little tight here. Okay. Bring this up just a little bit. Okay, so A is now attached. The first strip has been attached. And I want you to continue that right across, matching up. Now let's do B. Here's the letter B. And here's B on my accordion, which means this is going to be left blank, and I'm going to glue it onto the B section. Line it up. And glue it down. See, it's every other one will have the warm colors. So go ahead and do yours and I'll be back, okay? We'll meet back here. It's going to take me a while. I don't know about you. So let's say about a half an hour, okay? I'm almost done with my warm colors, but you can see how good it's coming out already. All my alphabets, and then I'm going to start my cool colors, okay? Lining up my numbers with my numbers. Each sheet will correspond with the number. Here's my number 5 strip. Will go on my number 5 section. Okay, I'll see you back here when the cool colors are done. Okay, I'm done. How you doing? Well, guys, that's what an Agamograph is. Warm and cool colors on an Agamograph, an accordion, optic, kinetic piece of artwork. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I know it took a lot of time, but it was worth the wait, wasn't it? Look at this, 2 images on one canvas. Have a great day. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. This is Miss Lisa saying ciao for now from my table of art.